Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome. So this video is going to be completely out of order because I'm filming this on the 30th of December, but by the time you see this it's going to be the new year. So I just kind of wanted to catch you up on a few things. First of all, nobody can deny it, nobody can ignore it. This I had surgery again. On the 19th of this month, I had surgery to fix advanced carpal tunnel syndrome in my left hand. It was really painful. It was really painful, and it has been painful for the last couple of weeks. It's just an area, because they slice you right across the inside of your hand, like where you've got that crease in the middle of your hand. Somebody told me it was your lifeline. I was like, well, don't cut through that. But yeah, they had to cut through that to release all the nerves that were causing all the tension in the hand. And I've got to have 6 weeks of physio, so we're not going to know if it's worked or not until the 6 weeks of physio are done. And it has to be up like this until tomorrow when I have my stitches out. But tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, I'm going out with the lovely Gary and Calvin. Hopefully I'll get some clips of that. You know how camera shy they are. Not. So I'll try and get some clips of that, and then this video will come out in the new year. But I just wanted to kind of have a quick catch up, let you know about this, wish you a happy new year. And I know in my last video I got quite glum, quite sad, and I didn't want to do that again. You know, I'm not apologising for being sad, because it was real, and I think it's good for us to show our emotions, especially men. But I just don't want to do it in every video, so I'm kind of avoiding that by doing this now, filming me, Gary and Calvin tomorrow, and then putting them all together and releasing the video that you're going to be seeing, watching me talking about this. Before I do anything, I want to say, oh God, that was a bit of a bomb, wasn't it? And I only had one. Anyway, Happy New Year. It's 2020, and yeah, it's a new decade. It's kind of weird to think that it's now 2020. And as an old git, certified old git myself, I remember so clearly when it was the year 2000 thinking, oh my goodness, how weird is this? And now we're here 20 years later. So from the bit that you saw before this video started, obviously you saw me, Calvin, Gary, we were going out together. And I said I was going to take my camera out, and I said I was going to film some of it. I didn't, but let me explain. First of all, Calvin and Gary came round, and I don't get the chance really to cook for friends because eating for me is so difficult, and it's not something I like to do around other people because it makes me quite sick, and the effects that food have on me aren't the best. So I tend to eat alone 98% of the time. But I invited Gary and Calvin round and said we'll have nibbles. Now, I think I've forgotten what nibbles are, because Gary and Calvin came round thinking we maybe have a bowl of crisps or have, some nuts and things like that. I think I was putting on a 3-course meal because there was just loads and loads of stuff. And Calvin will always eat a good proportion of everything that's there. So I thought nothing's going to go to waste. I had 2 small things, like I bought party foods. So I'd had 2 small things. Calvin had 1 thing, and Gary was saying, what is wrong with you two? Why are you not eating? And I obviously was being very, very careful, because I knew that the more food I put into my stomach, and I'd had a glass and a half of champagne as well, so I had to be really careful. So that was my excuse, and Gary knew that. But Calvin was just like, no, I'm not really hungry, I'm not hungry. So anyway, we got ready. I had to lie on the floor to get my jeans on. I swear not. And they were skinny jeans, and I've not worn them for probably a year. And I think my skinny jeans were telling me that I was fat, basically, because I could not get them done up. And I literally had to lie on this floor here and suck my gut in so that I could get them buttoned up. But then, you know, when you get trousers on that are too tight for you, you can't actually move that well in them. So I knew I was going to have to be careful. So we went to the bar that we were going to. And when we got out of the car, Calvin was driving, when we got out of the car, I said, look guys, I'm really sorry. I need to go and get some, just walk for a second, because I knew I wanted to be sick. And I didn't want to do it in front of them. It was just like, it's not something you want to do. So I kind of was trying to be sick and it wasn't happening. And then I came back and we thought, right, we'll go in. So we went in. And then when we were inside, Calvin said to me that he felt sick. And I thought, oh no, it was me, you know, trying to throw up that had made him sick. But he said, no, I've been feeling sick all night. That's why I wasn't eating. So then he started to throw up. It came to 12 o'clock at night and he stopped drinking. I wasn't drinking anymore. I hadn't drunk since we left the house. So Gary was having a great time, you know, drinking and dancing, and you know, and I was having a good time too, but Calvin wasn't, I could tell, and he was ready to get going. So we left. We didn't stay that long. We probably stayed about 2 hours, and then we headed off. And I got back here to the flat and they'd gone off home, and I had two problems. The first of all was, some of you have seen, well, you've all seen on social media my hand. I had the hand operated on. So I'm going to put a picture here, which is the first picture that I had when I first had it done. So you can see that my hand is in big bandage. And then I'm going to put a picture here, which shows you about a week later, they took off the big bandage, left me with a smaller bandage. It was still up in a sling. Then I'm going to show a picture here, and if you are queasy or if you don't like, you know, things that might make you feel sick, then don't look at this. So this is the hand without any dressings on it, and how it first looked when the bandage came off. This is how it looks now. So because of my hand, when we were going out, I had to get Gary and Calvin to tie my boots for me, because since I've had this done, I've not been able to tie or untie or tie shoelaces, because pulling was putting pressure on the hand and I couldn't do it. So Gary tied one boot and Calvin tied the other boot. Lo and behold, I get home, I can't get my boots off. I could not get the knots. They'd knotted both of them and I couldn't get them off. Then I couldn't get my trousers off either. So I'm lying on the floor, can't get out of my boots, can't get out of my jeans. I was like one of those beached whales you see that just can't move in any direction. So yeah, it was an interesting start to the new year. But saying that, I eventually got out of everything and woke up on the 1st of January and cleaned my house with one hand. So yeah, it was nice to wake up without a hangover for a change. So I've got a lot of ideas for Hart Talks in 2020. I have got some really amazing guests that are going to be on. this year, all being well. So look out for them. Just some real titans in the advocacy world and other areas of my life. So yeah, so that's interesting. There's a project that I'm working on which I've not been able to say anything about yet, but watch this space. Let's just say that I am co-writing something with somebody, and you'll find out more about that on Hart Talks soon. And yes, I am determined to be healthy this year. That's my plan. And I know so much of it is out of my hands, but it's funny seeing Calvin feeling so sick and so nauseous. That whole of that night we were out, I felt sorry for him, you know, but then I know when I came home that night and I was in bed, I was starting to think, that's how I live my whole life now, is just feeling sick like that all the time. And it made me start to feel a bit, you know how you start to suddenly think, oh, well, that's my life, you know, but I just have to hope that it's going to get better, and I do. And yeah, so I would be really interested to hear what your hopes, dreams, desires and wishes are for 2020. So pop them in the comment section below. I would love to hear about them. As always, there will be a Q&A for Hart Talks' birthday. So if you have any questions as well, get them into me, because that will be coming up in about 10 weeks time. So I never get a lot of questions, so I always start asking for questions quite early on. So anyway, that's it everybody. That's all the news for the first video of 2020. Please remember to like, share, comment and subscribe. I feel like I should have that tattooed on my forehead. I'm not gonna, but yeah, so please. And if you think this video would be useful to anybody, if you would like to share this on your social media, then please feel free to. Remember to let me know what you're hoping for this year, and I will see you in 2 weeks time. Take care everybody.